Thank you, Tariq, for joining us on the InRoads podcast.
Oh, thanks for having me.
So our purpose and connection point for this is to be able to take the story of who you are and how you got to realize some of the successes that you have realized and really get to the core of what that took from a character and virtue perspective. And I think there's a lot of people out there that define success for a certain way. Right. And I think to be able to know that there are certain parts and pieces of our personality and demeanor that bring us to that. And that's what we're really trying to figure out, that what are those inroads for you? So tell us a little bit about you. Let's start there.
Well, some of the inroads for me or about my life period, it took rock bottom.
Okay.
It took rock bottom for me. I want to start there if that's okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
It taught me how to endure. It taught me not to quit and how to survive. And then later on, how to thrive. Okay, so what I'm doing now is I don't like to really use the word, I say multiple entrepreneur. I have a few things going on now, but rock bottom have always gotten me there. I've always been an entrepreneur since I was a kid. Like selling Jolly Ranchers for $1.
You were a good salesman if you could do that.
It was a long stick ones, the Apple was the hottest seller. And then, I always remember when my dad got financially strong. We bought a house in Bridgeport, Michigan, and it had 2 cherry trees. So my dad always wanted to be an entrepreneur. He did 53 years in General Motors, the hardest working man I know. But he would say, hey, go out and pick some of those cherries. We can go sell them. So he always planted the seed that...
No pun intended with the cherries. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
And so we packed them up and we sold them to a local fruit market.
Wow.
It was Jack's Fruit Market in Saginaw, Michigan. And that's where all this led to be. So
give us a rundown of what you're doing right now today. And then I'm going to tie it back to that cherry tree story.
Okay. So right now we're opening up several Mayweather boxing fitness boutique style studios. One in Tampa. We have one in St. Pete. And we have one that's being built in Celebration. And we're probably going to do about 9 more. Yeah. And then we're also in Michigan. We own Steps Ahead Learning Center. 2 child care centers there that's really doing really, really well.
Awesome.
I'm into real estate. Actually, my wife she's a licensed agent. And we are also commercial. So we buy, flip, sell.
Yeah.
I'm into funding. I got my mentorship going. I got a lot of stuff going. So I got my mentorships going. And I have my investment company called Price Capital Investments, where I help celebrities, actors, and sports people, once they retire, to help them diversify their funds.
And you also have a philanthropic aspect to what you do.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Tell us about that.
So that part, it goes way back, 15 years in ministry. And I have an outreach ministry where we feed the hungry, every weekend, still in Michigan. For the holidays, we give away, we have a semi-truck pull up. So any holiday, we do 20,000 to 30,000 pounds of food.
That's amazing.
So we're always giving back.
That's amazing. So back to your cherry tree and tying it into that, you started learning a sense and spirit of independently earning and selling and capitalizing on the resources that you had, and how do you bring that to people or places that need what you have to offer. And so where do you think that entrepreneurial spirit from that moment, what did you love most about it from childhood that carried you through to where you are?
Definitely, I would say my parents believing that we could, just that stop right there, like that we could be or do anything. So when they told us the idea, we were like, okay, we can make some money. Let's go. You know what I mean? So my brothers and I, we'd just get up there, get the ladder, and we get to picking. And I knew my dad wanted to be an entrepreneur. So he would say, hey, let's start this and let's do this. And he got off into anything that he could to get extra money. So he got off into like multi-level marketing stuff. And he like always tried, and I always watched him, and it didn't last. But he tried. So I think now I'm the one, my sister and I, we're the ones that picked up the baton, and we became, entrepreneurs.
You saw that try again attitude. So, and then you said you thought, well, we can make money.
Yeah.
Money there's a different definition that people assign to money.
Yes, ma'am.
So, and different motivators for it. So when it comes to that, what was inspiring about making money for you? What's what's underneath that?
I would say it brought freedom. It brought a sense of happiness. And the reason being is we didn't have a lot. We didn't travel a lot. So our motivation for money was different.
Yeah.
And I wanted to travel.
Yeah.
I wanted the pool. I remember going to my parents' friend's house and they had a pool. And I'm just sitting on the step like, I wish you would invite me to jump in the pool. So I always had and now I got two homes, one in Michigan that has a pool.
Yeah.
And then I have one that has a pool here. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So I got, my dreams, desires. So it was just those motivations of having more.
Yeah.
My dad came from he grew up in the projects in Saginaw, Michigan. And General Motors helped us.
Yeah.
It helped us a lot, overcome things. Yeah.
And so about overcoming. So if we were on this journey and we were driving and you get a flat tire or you get in an accident or there's a roadblock, right? There's along the way, there's something that inevitably is a barrier. Tell me about one of the barriers that you've had to face that you've overcome. What was that like and what happened?
Homelessness. I was kicked out the house, bad attitude, teenage years, know. And once I got kicked out the house, I had nowhere to go. I had a car that I bought. My dad helped me buy.
Yeah.
So he didn't always just give to me. So we bought that car for $1,500.
Wow.
So I went half, he went half. That was like my 16, 17-year-old, present,
Yeah.
So all I had a 1991 Regal.
Wow.
And when I did get kicked out the house, half my clothes were in a trunk. So I went to my grandmother's house and I parked my car in front of her house. And, I went in crying, whatever, told her the whole deal. I said, I'm going to be living outside. She was like, no, we got room for you. I'm like, I don't want to live there because it was drug infested. My cousins were gangbangers and they were doing drugs and different people in and out that door of my grandmother's house. So I stayed outside and I stayed there for maybe 9 months.
Wow.
I was homeless. And one day I just woke up and that environment will try to suck you in and it will try to tell you, you can be like these people. But I just remember my mom's voice saying, use what you got. I could cry right now. But she said that. And you just mentioned that earlier, like, what do I have? I have nothing. But she said, but I just remember, use what you got. So in high school, I was a class clown. I got along with anybody.
Yeah.
I had to use my personality. So I just went and got a job. So my first job was like Nike factory.
Okay.
So, and I used to like shoes. I'm like, I need clothes. So let me go in here. Let me win this interview. I know I can smile. I can win it. So I went in, won it, and I got hired. I worked hours beyond hours. And then I think Sharice and I met Sharice when I was 15 and 14.
Okay.
So we had my first daughter in school.
Oh my goodness.
So
wow. Yeah.
It was a lot happening.
A lot happening
at
that age, yeah.
And I was working at the Nike factory. Let me back up. I went to go play ball.
Okay.
In college. I only stayed 3 months. I quit the basketball team because Sharice had the baby, was having the baby. And I came home, started all over trying to support and all that. So, but it was a job. It was a job. And then I got a better job. I always wanted more. I'm like, now I'm making money. Like, what's next? Then I did bricklayering.
Wow.
I know how to do bricks and driveways. I know how to do a lot. And I started working for landscaping and that. And then I got a job at AT&T. I excelled at that, customer service. And my life just got better.
Yeah.
So Sharice and I ended up getting married in 2003.
Okay.
Deli was 2 years old. That's my oldest daughter. And we've been married for 19 years now. So
all the varying things that you've gotten into and the diversification of work that you've seen, and you thrived in any of it. I mean, you're talking manual labor to in the office to retail to you had this nice blend and mix of things that came across your way, and you were great at all of them. And so that fortitude. So if I think about in a car you're driving, you have a GPS that it's telling you where to go. We all have internal GPS.
Yes.
And that's a lot of your character and virtues that help bring you forward to the place that you're meant to be.
Right.
So what characteristics and what traits do you think that you either learned or developed or strengthened through all of those experiences?
I think from my mom, her niceness, your attitude, definitely a trait, hard work.
Yeah.
I seen that. I seen it demonstrated within my dad. I seen how my mom treat people. Mm-hmm. So just blending all that together, then I'm hanging out with the boss of any company that I went to, and I would start getting mentored, whether they were mentoring me or not. I was listening. I was learning. I was learning how to run a company. I was learning how to run a landscaping company. I was learning how to do Microsoft Excel sheets. I was just learning how to run companies, and I ended up managing everyone that I ever worked at, including AT&T. I went from customer service there to maxing out there to Dow Chemical, customer service there, HR with no degree, and it just was on and on and on, so.
And so in a way you're getting reinforcement with every opportunity and every step that you take in the next direction. So if you were to picture driving a car at night and you're getting to a destination and the car has its headlights on and you can only see 200 feet in front of you, you're dealing with ambiguity and just surrounding darkness.
Right.
How have you handled times of ambiguity or uncertainty or change?
I would say keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I tell people all the time, don't decide your future, discover it. So whether it's dark, whether it's tough, or you can't see past 200 feet, just keep moving.
Yeah.
Get started. And that's
don't put it in park, right?
Yeah, just keep moving. Keep moving. A lot of people, and I've seen it in ministry, I've seen it in business, they get stagnant because they're trying to find their purpose. So what do you do when you try to find your purpose? You just move.
Yeah.
You don't know. Sometimes, I don't know sometimes, and I'm okay with that. As long as I tell people all the time, don't wait for the cruise ship to come to you. You swim to it. So I'm just move. Yep. Just keep moving. You will figure it out.
So when you think of arriving, a lot of people define arriving to success differently and what success is. So how do you define success?
I define success as family. I don't really think of arrival. My arrival is making sure I'm a good husband, a good father, and a good friend. My success is definitely my team at home. That's my team. And it helps me with my business team. It helps me with my friend team, because I believe family is, I know the strengths of my kids. I'm like the CEO, Sharice the VP, and it's like when I'm not there, she's running everything. And, it's just, that's my success. Seeing everything taken care of, seeing that they got a nice place to stay, seeing that my kids are excelling in life, not just financially.
Sure.
Shoot, Mason is doing great, right? I don't know if you've been watching him, but he's doing great. So him moving to Florida,
paying it forward for that next generation to be able to be raised with the same things that are making you successful, because they're being built in a real, genuine, authentic way.
Yes.
And so it's probably nice to see it reaffirmed back as you watch him grow. You must be really proud.
Yeah.
So when you think about success, how do people get success wrong?
I believe when greed gets involved. That's just me. It might not be the right answer. I believe when they hoard, when they get greedy. That's a good question. But I will stick with those. Yeah. I think that's when, success to me is following that inner GPS.
Yeah.
Doing what you see in here and watching it manifest, whatever that thing is. That's my definition of success.
And it's like staying, you mentioned the word listening, if you're staying in tune with yourself and you're listening to your intuition. Yeah. And it sounds like you were also really careful about who you had around you and who you would not have around you. Yes. And being very crystal clear that there are certain people that will elevate you in certain situations that will.
Till this day.
And that's what's interesting, is that we think that whether it's peer pressure or bad habits or things are issues of middle school and high school, it's not. There are many times in corporate world or different other industries where you find that there are people that are just not aligned the same way.
Right.
And you can get lost in the political game of getting involved in things that take you down the wrong path, even as adults.
That's right.
And that could be a big derailer for sure.
No, I'm a big relationship guy. So I'm hoping I'm doing a great job modeling that for my son and my kids. Who you have around you is so important. That's even better than money to me.
Yeah.
I consider myself a people broker where I place people together. I'm nice to them. They trust me. I trust them. I do right by people, so it's important. If you want to go to the next level at the speed of light, then make sure you have the right people around you, because your life can go to, where I'm at right now. I dreamed of this a long time ago. The things I've obtained, the companies I've bought or started. It's just
going from living in your car to buying other people's companies, which then in turn, what you do when you impact the community that way is you're helping those families.
Exactly.
Then you're helping their kids have better lives.
Employing people in the community.
Yeah. So when you think about if you were in a car and you are driving in the car and in the back seat is that kid who was living in his car.
Yeah.
What would you look back and tell him right now?
Man, I'm proud of you for not giving up. Yeah.
What do you think he would tell you back?
Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you were to be at the end of your journey and you look back in the rear view and you were to want to reflect and say, I did this life right, what do you hope to see?
Man, everyone happy. My family happy. My family there cheering me on. That's important.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to be their hero.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With the sentiment of this conversation and what we're hoping to inspire in others, and thank you again for being here.
Oh, no problem.
What was your hope and what was your inspiring reason for joining us in the conversation?
I believe if I can touch one person and tell them keep going, I did my job. And they got inspired by it, and it encouraged them to keep doing whatever they're doing right now.
Yeah.
That's payday for me.
Yeah. And it's so funny how you can use terms like payday,
yeah,
but it's payday intrinsically for your Tariq currency. It's not just the currency of what's external. And that goes back to when studying people that are successful, so many of them do it from a genuine, authentic place that really has nothing to do with what external success factors look like. Right. And it's amazing to see the propulsion and the momentum that can come from that and the sense of team and community and support that people will rally to help you or whatever the initiative is become more successful.
Yes.
And the more that I've talked to people about this, the more it almost seems like that's the secret sauce. People go after success in ways that don't ever manifest unless it comes from that place within.
That's the magnet for me.
Yeah.
Like, you attract who you are. So if you're rich in here, you're gonna be rich out here.
Yep.
If it's done with an authentic heart, like you just said, if it's done with, a great heart and your motives are right.
Yeah.
And you just attract and you manifest what you see.
Yep.
Your seeing is believing and your believing is seeing. And you can attract all of that. Like your dreams, the right people will come in place if you, live from within and you're rich at heart.
I love that, rich at heart. So what is next for you?
Next for me is I need a vacation. So next for me is to make sure my son is excelling at sports really well. He's 8th grade, 6'6". He just played in the Under Armour All-American game. So finding him a high school here, that's what's next for me. Their education, making sure Sharice excel at, whatever it is she want to do next, because we are officially Floridians now.
Yes.
So we're, thank you so much. We're super happy. But what next for me is just taking care of my family, and whatever this leads me to.
That's
it's like I can't pick and choose. It just leads me.
It goes back to that inner GPS.
That inner GPS. I love it.
And helping yourself follow that so that you can get to the place you're meant to be along the way.
Because I don't try to figure it out. I just go with the leading.
Yeah. I love it. Well, thank you so much for being here with
Thanks
us.
For
I
having
appreciate your time. Your insight is spot on. And I love the fact that you have so much of a story from where you came from to where you are and the sense of giving back, supporting your family, supporting the communities. I think all of that comes full circle back to the roots that you came from and the pieces of that experience, how it stayed with you. And now think of how many people it impacts because of who you are,
Right,
how many
right.
more people are reached in the world because of that journey. So,
man, and again, that's payday for me.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you again, Tariq.
Thank you so much for having me.